folks. Can you hear me now? Am I clear now? I think you should be able to hear me now. I think my sound was flickering a little bit. But anyway, as I was saying, Meghan decided to come out the house while I was asleep here in the UK. Very awkward being on UK time because I feel like now that I'm back in UK time, I feel like all the best stuff just happens when I'm sleeping. I don't know if for those of you who are following me, wait, no, I wasn't. What am I talking about? I wasn't even doing the podcast then. Back when the Oprah interview happened, yeah, I was still kind of rocking with the Sussex Squad podcast back then. I wasn't doing my podcast, but something just told me in the early hours of the morning. Like I just got up randomly. It's so funny, and I looked at my phone, and the Oprah interview trailer was there. So I feel like I'm going back to the days now where all the cool stuff happens where I'm asleep. Oh, hilarious. Anywho, let's get to it because, yes, Meghan came out the house looking absolutely fabulous with her beach waves. And she was out and about for... Oh, hang on a sec. Before we get into this, more importantly, Church Nelly, member for 23 months. Thank you so much, Church Nelly. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate you being an amazing mod. That's almost 2 years. Church Nelly. Thank you. Okay. So yes, Meghan was out for a gala dinner. So this was for the Children's Hospital Los Angeles. And she actually went to read stories there earlier this year. So Meghan is here pictured with the CEO of the Children's Hospital Los Angeles, Paul S. Viviano. He's a highly regarded leader in the healthcare sector and a passionate advocate for children's healthcare. With over 30 years of experience, he has held leadership roles in various academic, non-profit, and for-profit healthcare organizations. Since 2015, he has been the president and CEO of the Children's Hospital Los Angeles, overseeing the state's top-rated children's hospital. Under his leadership, it continues to excel in clinical care, research, and medical education. And he has had some pretty amazing roles in the past also. So there he is with Meghan. Thank you so much, Caroline, for 23 years of membership. Glad to have you here as well, Han. Glad to have you here as well. If you do want to join membership, by the way, you can also do so via Buy Me a Coffee. I will post the link. I sincerely do prefer that it's through Buy Me a Coffee. Only because YouTube takes 30% of everything that us creators do. So if possible, please do support creators directly, but I appreciate anything nonetheless. Thank you so much, Carol L. and Church also. So here's some more pictures. By the way, this dress is the Carolina Herrera that she wore at the ball in New York some time back for veterans, but she's just taken off the train. So it had a detachable train. Absolutely loving her beach waves, a little bit more casual, not like the sleeked back look that she usually has. So it just like, you know, it was obviously a formal event, but it, you know, still had like a light-heartedness about it. You know, it's about children, giving back to families and children. So I thought this was a very appropriate look. Like glam, but not like too over the top glam, like still respectful for the event. And here Meghan is with some families. Also, that is Ashley Hansen, her communications director that the UK tabloids tried to convince us is leaving. Rubbish. She just started her own agency and she's brought Meghan and Harry on board with her as her first client. Yes, Jedi, she is absolutely classy. Here's some more. Face card never declines. My God. Keeping it very simple with the makeup. I do love full glam makeup. It's my preference, but I do feel like it's kind of overtaken the understated, subtle, natural look, which is also amazing too. And that's definitely Meghan's style. Very minimalist, not too fussy, just accentuating the natural beauty that you have and not covering it up. And here she is with Kelly. Please do forgive me, I forget her second name, but she is known as Heart Mum on Instagram, and she's also one of the founders of Alliance of Mums, and her and Meghan are very close friends. She actually posted this picture on her Instagram, and here you just have two women supporting each other who've been through a lot. You know, Kelly lost her son, but still a chapter of joy. And it's so much easier to be in that chapter of joy when you've got people around you who support you and love you genuinely, authentically. Wendy, you said, does Meghan Lady in Red, power color, power play? Yes, exactly. Slayed indeed. And slayed for a good cause. It's just lovely, lovely pictures. Yeah, what a nice surprise. You know, while Harry's been doing his thing over in Africa, I think he's actually wrapped up. Because I didn't see any new pictures of Harry today. So he's probably on his way back or back already. But he's had a very successful week also. Following on from his very successful week in New York. And so we really don't need to be bothered about the haters. All right, I think we've enjoyed these pictures enough. Funny moment happened over at GB News. Something you don't see often, but we love to see it when it happens. Camilla Tominey, I don't know where she'd been. She'd been in the bushes for a while. She kind of had her moment when she started this one side battle with Meghan. She even had a feature in the Telegraph where she had her face facing Meghan, this whole thing, like, you know, like she's been personally victimized by this woman. She feels personally victimized by Meghan's smooth skin and white teeth. And she was doing an interview with Boris Johnson, who is publishing his new book. Now, Boris made a comment in his book saying that the government and the palace asked him to talk to Harry. And he went on GB News, and he actually had a genuinely nice thing to say about Harry and Meghan, but I don't think that Camilla Tominey was expecting it. And this was the look on her face when Boris said that he felt that we lost a national asset. I don't think that she was expecting Boris to say this. And what's also interesting in this clip is the news that we got, or at least from the mainstream media like ITV and such, was saying that it was Buckingham Palace and the government that tried to get Harry to stay. But here Boris Johnson is saying, almost like taking credit for it himself. Anyway, this is what Boris had to say. Let's have a listen.
Prince Harry and Meghan, in my view, they came to an event we did for female education. They were brilliant. And she was particularly good and articulate and on it and on the detail. So you got on quite well with Meghan? Yeah. I got on well with both of them. And I also worked with Harry when he did his Invictus Games for disabled veterans in the Olympic Park. And so in a sort of, you know, fit of pomposity, I thought, you know, this national asset is leaving our country. I think he's a force on the whole, could be on the whole a force for good. I'm going to try and discourage him. And so I had a pathetic attempt at that. It didn't work. Prince Harry and Meghan, in my view, they came to an event we did for female education. They were brilliant. And she was particularly good and articulate and on it and on the detail. So you got on quite well with Meghan? Yeah. I got on well with both of them. And I also worked with Harry when he did his Invictus Games for disabled veterans in the Olympic Park. And so in a sort of, you know, fit of pomposity, I thought, you know, this national asset is leaving our country. I think he's a force on the whole, could be on the whole a force for good. I'm going to try and discourage him. And so I had a pathetic attempt at that. It didn't work. Prince Harry.
So, yeah, Camilla Tominey, she just looked like she was about to cry. Dare anyone say anything good about Harry and Meghan? Yeah, Queen of Turtles, I cackled as well. It was literally eating her alive. Yeah, the boring rogue went off the script. You know, Bojo, when it serves him, he can be smart. So I think he probably knew he'd get more playback from not saying anything negative on this occasion and going off the script, because this clip has been going absolutely viral. Also, I think that now that he is not Prime Minister, he doesn't have to bend to the whims of, to the orders of Rupert Murdoch and Jonathan Rothermere, so he can say whatever he wants. But it's not like he said anything nice while he was PM and while Harry and Meghan were still there. And in fact, his sister had some pretty nasty things to say about Meghan especially. Yeah, she looks like she's sucking lemons. For sure. Lemons and gin. All right, moving on to the next thing. There was this that popped up in, I think it's the Daily Beast. Now, Sykes, he's a mouthpiece for William, or typically would be a mouthpiece for William, and seemed to have been pro Kensington Palace for some time. But he seems to be going a little bit rogue, as are some of the other who I like to call orbiting royal reporters. And they're not like official rota, like Emily Andrews and that lot. They're just kind of like orbiting around the space and trying to suck off the clicks and views to make money as well. So he would typically be for William and Kensington Palace, but he seems to be going off the script a little bit as well. I think they're starting to test the waters and realize, like I've been saying for the last 3 years, once they realize that throwing the other royals under the bus makes them more money than protecting them, they are going to jump ship. This is inevitable. And I've been saying that for 3 years, and it's literally happening. So he wrote this article titled "Secret Plans for King Charles' Death Are Already Tearing the Royal Family Apart." I mean, thank you for letting us know they're already planning Charles' death. I mean, in good health, Charles has at least another 20 years. No? Are they trying to drop hints? So this article, I haven't read it and I'm not going to read it, but the general consensus I got was that he's taking digs at Harry for like 2/3 of it. So he uses kind of the title as clickbait and then goes in at Harry. By the way, let me know how my sound is, folks, because I can, every so often I can see it glitching on the back end, but if it's okay, let me know. Henry VIII saying, Harry and Meghan offered a good distraction there for a bit, but let's get back to the real war of the Windsors. Exactly. This exactly. Personally, you're saying that Harry shouldn't go to the coronation. Well, he doesn't really have to, because George is the next king. So it'll be little George doing the whole kneeling down thing and whatnot. Or would it have to be Harry? Somebody who actually pays attention to that stuff, let me know. Does Harry have to do the whole kneeling down to William and kissing him on the cheek and all that stuff? I mean, we'll see. Maybe he will go and just sit in the audience. I don't know. I mean, would it matter if he did? Because he'll be in and out of there like he was for Charles. So he probably will, to be honest. And he'll be in and out of there. Okay, so there's that. Also, okay, on the subject of William. William has an ITV feature about homelessness. So we're back to homelessness now. We've given up on trying to find peace in the Middle East and save the polar bears from environmental crisis. So now we're back to homelessness. Chris Shipp posted this, which I thought was a little bit shady. Soon on ITV and ITVX, some guy you might have heard of talks about homelessness and why he wants to do something about it. The Royal Rota keep telling us that they do not like this guy and they're bored. Graham Smith of the Not My King, a Republican group, tweeting, homelessness is very political. It is solved through action by government and caused by deep-seated inequalities which William represents. ITV are shamefully misrepresenting the issue in order to give William uncritical PR. Yeah, I mean, they were literally removing rough sleepers from Windsor streets. So William wants to solve homelessness. Should we perhaps start there? I mean, did he film this documentary in one of his 5 castles? Incredible. In other news, James Middleton has been promoting his book that nobody's going to read. And as someone stated on Twitter, I couldn't get from this exclusive interview headline whether he's marrying the Labradoodle. James Middleton, how he longed for a love like Kate and William and finally found happiness. Was it with the Labradoodle? Oh, shady as hell. I mean, they're running out of material. So now they're going to the Middleton siblings. Soon we'll see Pippa and her cat. No, I don't think Pippa wants none of this. She stays well out the limelight. Enjoying being married to that so-called billionaire husband, apparently billionaire husband. She don't want none of this. She was out holidaying in the Caribbean when Kate was apparently in the hospital. And I think the press are getting just desperate. Anyone and everyone who's connected to a royal, please come forward. I mean, you had Richard Eden tweeting this. Harry and Meghan's pal spits from you as actress. He also set up home with in California. Does anybody know who these 2 people are? No shade to these 2 people, but I don't know who they are. And the lack of engagement on that post. And as someone on Twitter said, they're so desperate they'll soon have a headline saying, "Rat on the loose in Montecito." Locals say rampaging rodent symbolizes cracks in Harry and Meghan's fairy tale marriage. That is how desperate that they are going to get, for real. And Lewis, James Middleton has been bankrupt 3 times. Indeed. There was actually one business that James Middleton did start that was half decent. It was called Boots. I didn't even know that it was his because I went to a party and they actually had this. It was like printed marshmallows. And the problem is you can have a very, very good business idea, but if it's not executed properly and it doesn't have somebody with the right passion, it's always going to fall apart. So that business actually fell apart, even though it was a good business idea. He also had, I think, another one, which is like a, dog pet food. I mean, you really can't go wrong with dog pet food. It's just good marketing and advertising. How could you go wrong with that? But again, it's who's behind it. If they feel like just their name is going to sell it and they don't put any effort into the product. Kate Castillo, thank you so much for becoming a member. I think maybe you've actually rejoined. Nonetheless, member or not, you have been here for a while, and I appreciate your presence, and thank you so much for membership. Let's have a look at what you're saying. Yeah, the Labradoodle. Is he marrying the Labradoodle? Oh, and if I were Harry, I wouldn't go to Baldy's coronation even if he asked. I mean, like I said, I don't even think it would be a good deal if be a big deal. Sorry, if Harry did go, he'd be in and he'd be out. Like it would literally be nothing. Oh. Okay, we have a troll. Thank you so much for joining us, troll. Thank you for helping the algorithm find us. You are much appreciated. Okay, on to something else. Dan Wootton. He's been swimming around the sewer. And every so often he pops up. He has his own, he's on YouTube and all the other social medias. I think he probably got Rumble as well. So this is quite interesting. Adam here posting, Dan Wootton has now deleted his video claiming there was a conspiracy between The Sun and Kai Starmer to cover up stories about him. News UK source says claims were a failed revenge attempt by someone accused of bullying and catfishing former colleagues. So The Sun was investigating 2 Tia Keir's marriage just months before the newspaper endorsed Labour. So this is a tweet from Dan. A pre-election deal between the newspaper and the leader of the opposition saw agreed to drop plans for a part 2 of Livingston inquiry. Now, it is true that part 2 of the Livingston inquiry has been dropped and that it's not in Labour's manifesto. Whether or not this has anything to do with it, who knows? At the end of the day, they're all kind of bending to whatever it is Rupert Murdoch says. But this video has been deleted. Now, obviously, Wootton used to work for The Sun. And there was a huge cover up about how he was treating people at The Sun. He got into it with Victoria Newton, I believe her name is, who's the current lead editor of The Sun. And he's obviously very peeved off that he got let go from The Sun, let go from GB News. And I think he's probably out for revenge as well. So let's have a look at what this was about. So this is from Byline Times. Claims that the Prime Minister and The Sun struck a deal to suppress an alleged story about Keir Starmer's marriage and for Labour to receive the newspaper's backing in July's general election have been dismissed as complete fantasy at the Murdoch title. Mind you, there is a video of Keir Starmer saying that he likes The Sun, which is a very unusual thing for anybody in Labour to be saying. Senior News UK sources have taken the unusual step of briefing against the nakedly untrue allegations that a Starmer government in return would not pursue the second part of the Leveson inquiry into the culture, ethics and practices of the British press, which was launched in the wake of the exposure of the phone hacking scandal in 2011. One source told Byline Times, there's a feeling that because The Sun is always giving it, we should never respond when we take a few hits. But we are strong on this point. There is just no truth to it. It's a conspiracy theory for clicks, nothing more. There is no suggestion that The Sun ever had or believed it had any legitimate grounds to invade the Prime Minister's right to his family and private life. The allegation was made on a vlog run by former Sun employee Dan Wootton and repeated on X by the newspaper's former editor, Kelvin Mackenzie, who became notorious for falsely smearing the dead of the Hillsborough football stadium disaster on its front page in 1989. Wootton's blog posts and his X posts relating to it, as well as those of Mackenzie, have been since deleted. It is not known whether the pair came under pressure to do so by News UK and its lawyers. Former Sun and Mail Online senior editor Wootton alleged in the vlog that The Sun dropped an investigation into the Starmer's marriage in the run-up to the July election. I mean, things about, people's marriages and stuff like that, I don't think are hugely important, unless maybe you got a prime minister that's having an affair. Maybe one could argue that's in the public's interest, but otherwise, just general marital issues. If that's what this was about, I'm not particularly interested, and I don't think anybody should be interested. And again, we see The Sun and tabloids going after stories that really aren't that important, and completely overlooking stories that are plenty of stories that are just far more important for the public to be focused on right now, and not about the Prime Minister's marriage. It's not really anybody's business, but it's it would be scandalous and get the tabloid print going crazy. And obviously Byline have been they did a great series on Dan Wootton's alleged behavior. And it does seem like he just has a vendetta, Dan Wootton is despised at The Sun for what he did to people. And he has vendettas against anyone who stood up to him. So this is very much personal. And I'm sure that there are probably still people leaking stuff to Wootton and, So we'll see what comes of this, if anything at all. But someone has told him to delete that tweet and to make the video available. And I didn't see the video, so I'm sorry I haven't got the video saved. I don't know if anybody else does. Very interesting. Okay, I think, was there anything else that I wanted to mention? Oh yes, just this quick, cute little story from Mindy Kaling. Thank you so much, Black Queen, for the coffee. Much appreciated. Mindy, of course, featured on Archetypes. So she's a friend of Meghan, and Meghan has her cooking show coming up. And I don't know if she posted this on her Twitter or her TikTok, but the actress and comedian showed a cooking video using a soup recipe from the great, was that Max? Gosh, I can't read my screen properly. Maxine Shaft, the quickie dumpling soup. And she said, this is so exciting. You need basil for this recipe, and I have 2 basil plants. A mum with 3 gestures to her gardening area. She says, I'm freaking Meghan Markle over here, she quips. Very cute. I don't know if this may be, the reason I bring this up is, I don't know if this maybe is a clue that she could be on Meghan's cooking show. Maybe because she was on Archetype. So maybe this is her giving us a clue that she's on the show. Otherwise, it was just a very cute, funny video if you saw it. Verdict's still out over who's going to be in Meghan's cooking show. If there will be other celebrities on the cooking show. I'd like to think that there probably will be. Guesses? Oof. I mean, who wouldn't want to be on Meghan's cooking show? So there's, I mean, it's so open, right? All right, I will leave it there. Thank you, everyone who has been buying Royal Codes. You are so much appreciated. We did get to number 6 in in new releases in the royalty section of Amazon. So thank you so much for that. And I will end on a quote from the book. The moment you feel yourself having to shrink to fit into someone else's idea of who you should be, it's time to move on, or at least reevaluate how you participate in that connection. This isn't just about physically leaving a room or a group of people. It's about shedding the parts of your life that no longer serve your highest good. It's about embracing the freedom to be unapologetically you without fear of hesitation. I hope that everybody who has read the book and who's going to read it feels inspired. Black Cougar, you asked, when does Meghan's cooking show air anyone? We really don't know. I've heard speculation that it could be the new year, but I don't go on speculation. It's just, you know, for me, it's just whenever it comes, it comes. Mind you, Polo is coming in December. So I would say New Year's is probably quite accurate, just to let Polo run first. Queen of Turtles, she said, I'm hoping for local entrepreneurs on the show, especially local female and Black businesses. Find out about this amazing winery that is Black owned. Do you know what? That's probably a good point. She probably will highlight local entrepreneurs, up and coming, you know, chefs or things. You know, that's the type of thing that Meghan likes to do, put forward the unseen and underappreciated. So that's actually a good point. Maybe it's not all celebrities. Thank you for pointing that out. And thank you, everyone, for, you know, your congratulations on my book. It's much appreciated. I hope you feel as inspired reading it, if you do read it, as I felt writing it. Alrighty. Appreciate you all. Please do enjoy the rest of your day. Wishing you a great week. And I'll see you tomorrow. Ciao.